was Pakistan's triumph and India's loss. Remember these pictures from 2021? Except it has all violently unraveled for Pakistan, which used to be gloating 4 years ago. The Taliban that Pakistan thought it controlled now treats Pakistan as enemy number one. The Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan has used Afghan soil to bleed Pakistan's army almost daily, ambushing their troops, storming border posts and humiliating the Pakistan military that once boasted of strategic depth. Pakistan, once the Taliban's patron, is now its victim. In sheer desperation, Pakistan yesterday launched airstrikes inside Afghanistan, an act unthinkable just a few years ago, trying to kill the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan chief, who now taunts them from a safe haven across the border. The strikes killed civilians, deepened hostility, and exposed Pakistan's complete loss of control over a monster it directly helped create. Meanwhile, India has quietly waited. No bluster, no panic, no moral posturing, even as an entire ecosystem in India taunted from within. Today, as Afghanistan's foreign minister visits New Delhi, the two countries are cautiously building ties on the basis of mutual respect, economic cooperation, and regional India's interests first. Contrast could not be starker because Pakistan, once crowing over India's exit, pointing and laughing, is now trapped in a war of its own making. India, patient and steady, has outlasted the chaos. The future of India-Afghanistan relations looks promising. For Pakistan, it looks bleak.
India is fully committed to the sovereignty, territorial integrity, and independence of Afghanistan. Closer cooperation between us contributes to your national development as well as regional stability and resilience. To enhance that, I am pleased to announce today the upgrading of India's technical mission in Kabul to the status of Embassy of India.
During the American occupation, there was many ups and downs that happened. However, throughout this time, we never gave a statement against India. Rather, we always sought good relations with India. We will not allow any group to threaten anyone else or use the territory of Afghanistan against others.
Was the Afghan foreign minister's answer to a direct question from NDTV about Pakistani terror? Very interesting answer. Listen to this.
NDTV से आपने एक बहुत ही अच्छा स्टेटमेंट दिया कि इंडिया और जो अफगानिस्तान में टेररिज्म के खिलाफ है और जो दहशतगर्द ग्रुप है वो अफगानिस्तान की टेरिटरी से जो है इस्तेमाल नहीं होंगे किसी मुल्क के खिलाफ। तो क्या आप ऐसी कार्रवाई कुछ करेंगे इंडिया के साथ मिलकर उन दहशतगर्दों के खिलाफ, चाहे वो आईसिस हो, ISKP हो या बाकी लश्कर-ए-तोयबा जैश-ए-मोहम्मद हो? क्योंकि 2021 से पहले हमने देखा कि लश्कर-ए-तोयबा और जैश-ए-मोहम्मद जो है अफगानिस्तान में भी अपने गुटबाजी वहाँ पर करते थे और पाकिस्तान उनकी मदद करता था। तो क्या आप उनके खिलाफ कोई कार्रवाई करेंगे?
बात यह है कि अगर ये लोग अफगानिस्तान में होता तो फिर उसके मुकाबले में कुछ करना ज़रूरी था। अभी तो सारे अफगानिस्तान में एक भी नहीं है, 1 इंच ज़मीन पर किसी का कब्ज़ा नहीं है बिदून इमारत इस्लामी अफगानिस्तान। अफगानिस्तान में ये गुरोह और ये तंजीमें मौजूद नहीं है, उसकी वजूद ही नहीं है। ये 4 साल में मुकम्मल वो अफगानिस्तान से निकल गया या जिसके ख़िलाफ़ हमने ऑपरेशन किया उसमें ख़त्म हुआ। तो जब नहीं है तो और ममालिक भी अपना मुल्कों के अंदर अगर ऐसा अमन लाए जैसे हम अफगानिस्तान में लाया है तो फिर सारे खिते में अमन है। अभी 8 महीने से अफगानिस्तान में कोई छोटा सा वाक़या भी पेश नहीं आया है। 4 सालों के दौरान में अफगान सरजमीन से किसी को भी नुकसान नहीं पहुंचा है। तो ये बेहतरीन सबूत है कि हमने पेश किया है। अगर हम ऐसा सबूत पेश करता है तो सारे खिते में अमन।
And you heard that straight from the foreign minister of Afghanistan sitting here in Delhi. But there's actually much worse news for Pakistan. This reset in India-Afghan ties is terrible news for Pakistan in what has continued to be a terrible year, like I said. Number one, all of this is happening amidst an implosion of Pakistan-Afghan ties. They've actually conducted airstrikes in Kabul, which was unthinkable, like I said. Number two, it isolates Pakistan, and India gets to fill at least a part of that vacuum. Total hostility, as you can see, between Afghanistan and Pakistan now. Number three, it removes Pakistan's strategic and geographic depth. Pakistan has always thought Afghanistan is one of us, they're friendly to us, and therefore we have this geographic depth in case India wants to try anything funny. They've lost that depth. Number four, it bogs down Pakistan at the AFPAC border. In 2021, Pakistan had gloated, its military had gloated and said, our western border is sorted. We are friends now with the Taliban. They will not bother us. We can focus all our attention on the east with India. Now it's exactly the opposite, because they've been completely bashed on the east from India, and they have to focus all their attention where they are now being bashed by Afghanistan. Number five, India gets a shared anti-terror imperative. You heard that from the foreign minister of Afghanistan himself. It's a humanitarian soft power boost. India has a huge number of initiatives for soft power, for humanitarian relief, aid, etc. in Afghanistan. All of that gets revived. And finally, strategic mining opportunities which have been opened for India. India is a growing economy, in a big way needs many of those mining opportunities. Those open up. And importantly, finally, access to the Chabahar port becomes a reality as far as India is concerned. S. Jaishankar, India's External Affairs Minister, during his interaction with his counterpart, made a very, very interesting reference, which a lot of people actually know about, which is that India and Afghanistan actually happen to share a border. I bet many of you didn't actually know that. Here's what he said.
As a contiguous neighbor and a well-wisher of the Afghan people, India has a deep interest in your development and progress. Today, I reaffirm that our long-standing partnership that has seen so many Indian projects in Afghanistan stands renewed.
Interesting reference to Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, because India and Afghanistan have a contiguous border. That's right, India and Afghanistan do have a border. It's 106 kilometers long, and it is currently in POK. So it's a big hint from Dr. S. Jaishankar in that comment that he made about India and Afghanistan being contiguous borders, because of course POK is a part of India, and that's where the India-Afghanistan border is, a tiny little strip of land just 106 kilometers long. So tonight, as India and Afghanistan reset their ties, it took only 4 years now to full diplomatic relations and a full embassy in Kabul. These are the 5 questions I'm asking tonight on India Matters. Number one, can the India-Afghan reboot bleed Pakistani terror? Will this curb TTP and Al-Qaeda effectively inside Afghanistan? Number 3, how will the Pakistan-Afghanistan tensions impact India's security? Are there any security implications for India? Number 4, can the Chabahar and mining deals outweigh China's CPEC influence in Afghanistan? And finally, can Indian aid navigate Taliban's human rights controversies? There are contradictions and certain issues there that will need to be handled carefully. How will India navigate all those issues? Let's go straight to our discussion tonight on India Matters, on India's Mission Kabul. It's being seen as a big success for India-Afghan relations and a setback as far as Pakistan is concerned. Joining me live now is Suhail Shaheen, is a spokesperson of the Taliban and ambassador of Afghanistan to Qatar. He joins us live from Kabul tonight. Mr. Shaheen, welcome. Ambassador Amar Sinha is former ambassador of India to Kabul, and Anjana Shankar is my friend and journalist. She happens to be in Kabul tonight. Welcome to all of you. Thank you for your time. Suhail Shaheen, coming to you first. Your thoughts on India and Afghanistan, forgetting what happened in 2021, moving forward, shaking hands, new friendship, resetting ties. Your first words, sir.
The people of Afghanistan and the people of India, they have a historical relation, traditional relation. These relations have been friendly and positive throughout the ages. And I think our foreign minister, Mr. Mutaqi's visit will mark a new phase of relation between the two countries. There are a lot of opportunities and areas which can be explored for cooperation between the two countries and for investment.
Suhail Shaheen, what does this mean for Pakistan? You know, Pakistan, right at this time when your foreign minister is in Delhi, Pakistan has conducted airstrikes in Kabul. What does the India-Afghan friendship mean for Pakistan, in your view?
First of all, we are an independent country. It is our right to have a relation, good relation, and to have trade ties and other ties with any country, including India. It is a regional country. It is important for trade. And as you know, Afghanistan is a hub connecting Central Asia to South Asia. And but Pakistan also has relation with other countries. We have not opposed, and I hope they will not oppose. Otherwise, if someone oppose or not, we have, this is our right to have a relation with India in other country.
Suhail Shaheen, final question. Pakistan accuses your government in Kabul of sheltering terrorists and terror groups which are harming Pakistan, attacking the Pakistan military. Your government, the Taliban, have said that Pakistan is the one that is nursing and hosting terror on their soil. How do you respond to them? Because this is a common concern for India as well.
Yes. First of all, we are committed not to allow our soil to be used by anyone against any country. And we have said time and again, if Pakistan has any solid proof, they can bring it through diplomatic channel instead of going to media and labeling accusation. That is not a solution. We have control over Afghanistan. There is, we don't see any entity, individual, which is using the soil of Afghanistan against Pakistan in other country. For in order to answer to Pakistan's suggestion, we started building military outposts on the borders near to Pakistan, but they were opposing not to build that outpost, military outposts. And that military outposts were built there in order to prevent anyone entering Afghanistan or entering Pakistan. But they are opposing that. We don't know why. Also, they propose that the refugees from Waziristan, which are staying in coast area near to Pakistan, to take them to resettle them in other provinces far away from that province. We did that, but still their accusation and we don't know if they have other objectives. If it is any about attacks, terror attacks from Afghanistan, we are ready to discuss it through diplomatic channels. But it is used for only for accusation, only for to put pressure on Afghanistan, only that the development which are taking place, economic progress taking place in Afghanistan, that is to block them, to prevent them. So that is something else. They should not do that. Instead of that, they should engage in trade and good relation, which is beneficial for their people and our people, and also for them and us.
Final question, Suhail Shaheen. after Pakistan's airstrikes near Kabul, after the ambush attacks across the border inside Pakistan, in which many Pakistan military personnel have been killed in Quetta, in North Waziristan, etc., could this become a bigger conflict? Could there be an Afghan-Pakistan conflict, sir?
I think, first of all, there's no question there is a security issue inside Pakistan. But that is internal issue. There is the grievances of the people are there, and they have to tackle their internal issues and internal security. As long as we are concerned, we want stability, not only in Pakistan, but in the whole region, because it is good for trade in the region. And as we are building Afghanistan from scratch, it is good for us to have a stable region and to have a trade relation with all the countries in order to make prosperity and create employment in Afghanistan.
Okay.
But instead of that, accusing only Afghanistan, I think that is not a solution. Instead of that, I think, and it is my suggestion to them, that they focus internally on the grievances of the people and on their internal security, rather than pointing fingers to Afghanistan.
Okay, Suhail Shaheen, thank you very much for being with me and taking my questions tonight on India Matters. It's a new start as far as India-Afghanistan relations are concerned, and you're right. India and Afghanistan go back a very long way, so it's going to be interesting to see what path lies ahead for the two countries. Thank you for your time. Anjana Shankar and Ambassador Amar Sinha are with me as well tonight on India Matters. Anjana, what an incredible time to be in Kabul. You always find yourself in the middle of the action, and today as well, at a time when there have been airstrikes, not very far from where you are, on TTP targets, I hear. India and Afghanistan shaking hands here in Delhi, where I am. As an Indian journalist in Kabul tonight, it's very interesting to see, because 4 years ago, you were there as well, and you saw what happened in Kabul, the fall of the city, the Taliban taking over, India practically being chased out. Things have turned 180 degrees. How are you seeing today, Anjana?
Thank you, Shiv, and good evening from Kabul. As you said, what a great time to be in Kabul, as a journalist especially. Shiv, I should first start by telling you, as soon as the news came out about the announcement from Delhi about India opening a new embassy, reopening its embassy after our withdrawal in 2021, I had a few people around me, and the first reaction I got, I think, tells the story. They told me that, oh my God, we cannot wait to apply for a visa to India. We want to go to India to study. We want to go to India for medical treatments. These visas and scholarships have been happening. India has been quietly doing it with or without an Indian embassy.
Okay, we've lost that link with Anjana. I think there's a bit of an internet problem with her. We'll try and get back to her. But in the meanwhile, let me bring in Ambassador Amar Sinha on this. Ambassador Sinha, many complicated questions. Nothing is ever black and white in diplomacy. There are inherent risks. There are contradictions. There is self-interest. There are, India and Afghanistan find themselves in a place where they have some common interests at this time. Vis-a-vis Afghanistan, Pakistan, etc. How are you reading this new reset and this handshake in Delhi, sir?
Well, first, I think it's a big step towards normalization of relations. And of course, one saw the sign, soon after 2021 August withdrawal of India, despite our having said repeatedly over 20 years that India has no exit policy. I think we are the walking the talk today. Because if you remember, we had reopened the technical mission, what we called it, in June 2022.
Yeah.
So it was a break of 6 or 7 months. Since then, one has progressively seen greater engagement at the level of officials. This year, of course, both foreign secretaries and 2 telephonic conversations between EAM and the foreign minister. And now this visit, which was to happen earlier, but it happened today. So I think it is a good step in terms of our main objectives. which is first the centrality of the people and the welfare of Afghanistan, stable and secure Afghanistan. And for that, this Taliban regime needs whatever little support. Of course, there are problems within the regime, the way some of its policies are. But
Yes.
I think the view here is that it is better to engage and influence rather than ostracize and castigate. And I think that is what is driving us. And it's good that diplomacy is taking center stage because I did see that suddenly this entire policy had become very security-oriented or securitized, as they say. So it's a good change. And of course, I'm sure people in Afghanistan, as she was saying, would be euphoric at this because they have always seen India historically as their immediate neighbor. Remember, before the partition took place, it was actually our neighbor, and India was its market, its place for sustenance, its place for education, healthcare, for everything. So there was a huge level of dependence. So I'm sure people would be very, very happy. And it's a good first step. It's not yet diplomatic recognition, but it is a normalization, and at least there will be an ambassador, not an ambassador, but a diplomatic mission, which will give us greater access, greater perhaps influence, outreach, because right now we had a very small technical mission.
Yeah. Anjana, we lost you for a moment there. I'm sorry. Continue your point. You were talking about the immediate sort of euphoria among the local population.
Yeah, sorry, the internet is a little patchy in Afghanistan. I'll try to make my point quickly. So, I have been traveling around Afghanistan since last 2 weeks. And the impression that I got here was India has a very strong strategic and humanitarian footprint in Afghanistan. And it is always a people-first footprint that we have. People of Afghanistan look at India as a humane partner. And the Afghanistan government, no matter who is in power, has always looked upon India as a trusted partner. I think that is the legacy we have built. So I really hope that with this new partnership that we see and upgrading of our diplomatic relationship, that India will fill the vacuum that we left behind. And I think this is also, as my colleague pointed out, India had left a vacuum after our pullout in 2021, which was filled by Pakistan and China. And at this point, I hope when India will come back, we'll have a seat on Afghanistan's future. India will not just look at this engagement and this influence as a matter of security, which is definitely important because it is regional security and any kind of instability will spill over. We also have, as I said, a huge legacy of humanitarian projects, the Salma Dam, the scholarships that we offer to students, the medical visa that we offer to Afghans who want to go to India for healthcare treatment. But at the same time, I hope at this point, India can engage and use its influence with Afghanistan when it comes to filling the moral vacuum which is there. Because two things Afghanistan needs desperately now is one, diplomatic recognition that India has given. Another thing is economic relations, because this is a country which is on a humanitarian freefall. And as the Taliban spokesperson, Suhail Shaheen, said, they are trying to build the country from scratch. So they need friends like India. And we are on the table. We are saying, yes, we are ready, but we will engage on our own terms. And I really hope that our own terms will be that we will look at the moral vacuum and we will use India's clout in the UN, in G20, in the BRICS to push for Afghan future, Afghan's women's future, because one curb for Afghanistan that they face global, the lack of recognition is because of their human rights.
I'm very glad you mentioned that, and that's the reason why it was one of my big questions as well. I have just 15 seconds left, Anjana, so I quickly want you to update us on the situation on the border. You're a war reporter. Does it look like things could escalate between the two countries on the AFPAC border?
Okay, Shiv, at the moment, after the airstrikes last night, I have been out and about, but it looks normal. Generally, when talking to people, there is no fear of escalation. And the reason being, there is a trust in the Taliban governance here among the general public that security is in safe hands. So at the moment, the understanding is that there may not be an escalation, but we don't know whether there will be a retaliatory move from the Taliban side at the moment. Yes.
You stay safe. I'm sure you're trying to get to places where the action is. That's what all war reporters do. We will be in touch with you. Ambassador Sinha, Anjana Shankar, always a pleasure. Thanks for getting us live on this very, very shape-shifting story. India and Afghanistan are resetting their ties, and it's a new vista as far as the country's friendship is concerned. Okay, India and Afghanistan are countries that are neighbors. They share a 106-kilometer border, like I just showed you, even though that border happens to be in POK. But how many of us in our entire lifetimes would ever have visited Afghanistan? I've been a defense reporter for 2 decades now. I've covered wars and conflicts in many parts of the world, in all continents, but I've never been to Afghanistan. And it's a country that has been non-stop in conflict, in combat, and in war for as far as I can remember, and far before that as well. The question now is, as Afghanistan looks to moralize, and as you heard Anjana say, whether that moral vacuum can be filled, whether an entire ancient civilization and nation with all its contradictions and hypocrisies can be built up from scratch, what role will India play? And will you and I visit Afghanistan anytime in the future? Is the question I leave you with. Much more on the other side.
Motorola Edge 60 Pro, most stunning true color pro grade camera. Motorola Edge 60 Pro. Grab Motorola Edge 60 Pro today.
अब पुराना कुछ नहीं बचेगा। फ्लिपकार्ट बिग बैंग दिवाली।
वॉल्यूम कम करेंगे? आपका पार्सल फिर से हमारे घर पे आया है।
कुछ तो बात है इस दिल में।
माँ भी हमेशा पीमाक मस्टर्ड ऑयल में ही खाना बनाती थी। ये आपके लिए।
मैंने कहा था कुछ तो बात है इस दिल में।
P-Mark, the mustard specialist since 1933.
A story of change. A path to renewal. A leader reimagining her nation's future.
This will be my first official